Okay, we're going to create an assembly here now and put things together and create some cubes and rods, a little bit like this one over here that I've made. And you can see they're made up of 3 different parts, or 2 different parts assembled together. 10mm pins fitting inside 10mm holes. Okay, so to do that, let's begin. Let's close all that. Okay, and start a new file. So click new, and we'll choose assembly. And from that point up here we have our tools. We're going to place the object that we want. So click on place, navigate to where that object is. Mine's on my desktop. So red cube 1 is fine for me. I'm going to click OK, but you can look for it up and down, scrolling up and down here if you like. And there's my red cube. I'll left click it to position it, and it automatically wants to bring me another cube. So if you left click again, you'll get a second cube in there. I'm going to escape out of that because I don't want the second cube. But I am going to bring in another part, and the other part that I want to bring in is called a rod. And there it is. Rod 2 or rod 1 will be fine for me. So there's the rod. I'll bring that in, position it there, and then escape out so I don't have to position the second part. Now to fit them together I need to set constraints, and here they are up here on the left hand side in relationships. And the constraints are important. So if I left click on that, you can see there's motion constraints, assembly, transitional. You can play through all those. The ones we're going to focus on are assembly. And the mate constraint means 2 parts butt and touch together. Angle, obviously set at an angle. Tangent, insert, and so forth. Now let's try the insert function here, because I do want to insert 1 pin into a hole. So I'm going to choose here this pin to fit inside that hole. But I do want to choose and select a section in here. So I want to select, I'll escape out of the spin center there, and I have to go back in. I happened to double click that escape button, which threw me off. So we're back into a constraint, which is a insert constraint, and we're now being asked to pick out. So I'm going to pick that inner sleeve right at the base of the pin, and I want to insert that into, let's say, this section here, and pop, in it goes, and set right into position. Now I could do it differently. I didn't have to use that, so let's bring in something else. So I'm going to apply that and accept it, cancel out of here, and I'm going to bring in another part. Let's say I'm going to bring in another cube. Here we go. Bring in him, pop him over here, escape out of the second part. This time try and use a different constraint, just to show you a little bit. Try the mate constraint. So we'll select mate, and we need to then pick the first geometry. So let's just say I want this surface here, plane surface, to mate with this surface in here. Now you can see it's clocked into place, but not quite in exactly the way we want it. So try and show you what I mean. There it is. So it's kind of stuck in a little bit in the wrong direction for us. So we need to align those. So what I'll do now is select a symmetry constraint. I'll try that. And for symmetry, or no, let's choose mate this time again. This time I'm going to mate something else. I'm going to choose the mate. Well, I'll apply my first constraint, which I've done. Now I'm going to choose a second constraint, and I'm going to mate the axes. So there's one axis, selected it, with the second axis, and it's now locked into place. So there's lots of ways that you can put parts together, and you can play around with those. And assemble a nice set of rods and cubes and save it as an assembly file, and we'll be able to print that out and render it and make it some nice colors and make it look attractive. Put some shadows in it, you put it in a scene if you want to, and have fun.